Okay, so we are going to try quiz 1.2 and 1.3 again with a little bit more support, a little bit more review before you take it. So here's our review. First thing that we need to work on is knowing how to do some exponent work. And what I want you to do first is I want you to find the value. So first thing that you're going to do is find the value. You're going to tell me how much it's worth. So if I said, what's the value of your house, you'd tell me how much your house was worth, or how much your candy bar is worth, or how much your phone is worth. That's the value. How much is it worth? So if I ask you to find the value of 2 to the third power or 4 to the fourth power, those are what I want you to work on right now. So you can go ahead and pause your video, try these out. When you're done, unpause it and look to see if you got them right. So 2 to the third power is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is what most of you that are watching this wrote down for your answer. Something similar to that is what you wrote for your answer when I asked you to find the value. That's not the right value. The value is 8. So you do 2 times 2, which is 4, and 4 times 2, which equals 8. 8 is your value. All right. The next thing that I want you to look at is 4 to the fourth power, which, as many of you knew already, is equal to 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. I don't know about you, but I can't do all that in my head. I can do 4 times 4 and get 16, so I did that here, and I end up with 16 times 16, which if I wasn't like having a really busy brain right now, I probably maybe could have done in my head, but maybe not. So I wrote down all my steps. 16 times 16, I did 6 times 16, I got 96. Put down my placeholder 0, and that 1 is really a 10, so 1 times 16 is 16. Add it all up, my answer is 256. 4 to the fourth power equals 256. This is how you find the value. So if you need to pause right now, take some notes so you know that this is find the value. This is what find the value means. You're actually solving the math problem. Next, we're going to be looking at product of powers. So a product, remember, are numbers that are multiplied together. It's the answer to a multiplication problem. And powers are when we have that little exponent base. So I want you to write these as a product of powers. So first, I have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Next, I have 2. And after that, I have 17 times 17. Remember that dot means multiplication. Go ahead and pause the video, try these out, and then check to see if you got them right. Now that we're back, I hope that you figured out 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I use 3 as a factor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So my product as a power is 3 to the fifth power. This was just 2, so I only used 2 one time, 2 to the first power, and 17. Did anybody solve this and do 17 times 17 and write the value there? I hope not. You're working on product as a power, and that's what I wanted you to write down here. Next, we're going to look at perfect squares. So how do you know if a number is a perfect square? Well, perfect square is going to be a number that multiplies by itself to get to another number, and that other number, that's whether or not it's a perfect square. If we're just going to go through a list of things, a list of numbers, 2 squared equals 2 times 2. So I used 2 as a factor twice, which equals 4. 4 is a perfect square. 10 squared equals 10 times 10, which equals 100. 100 is a perfect square. 12 squared equals 12 times 12, which equals, does anybody know this? It equals a gross, which is 144. Yep, that number is really called the gross. I don't know why. So these are the perfect squares. This is how you show that whether or not they're a perfect square. I'm going to now give you an example of what is not a perfect square. So I'm flipping my board upside down. Don't flip your paper upside down. You won't be able to read anything. Not a perfect square. Okay. So 30, one of its factor pairs is 2 times 15, which 2's are nice, but it's not a perfect square. Its factors are only 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6. None of those are as a whole number multiplied by that same whole number to get to 30. 30 is not a perfect square. 21 is a good number. It's a great number. I like the number 21. It just feels lucky. 21 is a great number. Its factor pairs are 1 and 21, and 3 and 7. But this is not a perfect square because there's no whole numbers that multiply by that same whole number to get to 21. When you're showing your work to explain whether or not it's a perfect square, you can say 30 is not, because, so 5 times 5, 5 squared is 25, yep, and 6 squared equals 6 times 6 equals 36. I don't have any other whole numbers between 5 and 6 that I could multiply by that same whole number to get to 30. So it is not a perfect square. If you're still struggling with this, let me know. Please email me and I can send you some more videos. I can send you some more papers and I can work with you during office hours or after a math class to help out. Next, we're going to do some order of operations, and I'm going to pause the video, erase my board, and come back to do a little bit more order of operations. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so I'm up at the front of the room, going to use my whiteboard. I'm going to try to do order of operations this way. One thing that I noticed a lot of kids doing was just figuring it out best they could, writing it sideways, writing answers up here, down here, over here, and then hoping for the best. But that's not how any of my videos have shown you. That's not how the book does it. That's not how any of the ed puzzles do it. They don't just hope for the best. There is a very specific way that you need to solve your order of operations problems. Hopefully you remember PEMDAS. And hopefully you've been practicing writing down all of your steps every single time. So first thing that you're going to solve in any occasion is the parentheses. Next will be the exponents. Then you have multiplication and division. This happens in the same step from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. It happens in the same step, whatever comes first from left to right. I'm going to show you why that's important in just a moment. We're going to start with this problem, 2 plus 3. And the 2 plus 3 is in parentheses with the exponent outside. That means you're going to do whatever's in the parentheses before you do this, and then subtract 5. Okay? So I'm going to start here. 2 plus 3 is 5. So I can drop the parentheses because I don't need them anymore. I already did it. And then the squared, the exponent right here goes here, minus 5. I did my parentheses. Now I'm on to my exponents. I solved my exponent. 5 squared equals 5 times 5, which is 25 minus 5. Miss Smith, I can do this stuff in my head. I'm sure you can, but you have to show all your work. You have to show your steps, because if you lose that breadcrumb, if you forget something that you're supposed to do, this is going to mess you up. All right. So 25 minus 5 is 20. This is your answer. This is what you need to take a picture of and upload. This is your work. Over here, I have another problem for us. 3 squared plus 5. Remember, the parentheses can also mean multiplication. So you're multiplying whatever the difference is of 4 minus 2. This 5 is going to be multiplied by whatever 4 minus 2 equals. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do that subtraction, because we do parentheses first. So 4 minus 2 is 2. And I can either leave this as parentheses, or I can rewrite that with a dot in between. So it can be 3 squared plus 5 times 2, however you prefer to do it. I'm going to stick with this way because it's easier for me. So I did my parentheses. Next is my exponents. 3 squared equals 3 times 3, which is 9. So 9 plus 5 times 2. After exponents, I do multiplication and division, whatever happens in order from left to right. So I start over here, multiplication, division, multiplication, division, multiplication, multiplication problem right there. 5 times 2 is 10. Rewrite my plus 9. 9 plus 10 is 19. This is my answer. This is my work. I'm going to erase this and we'll go to the next one. If you have a question on it, please let me know. Okay, this is a big problem. Not like it's a big problem, but it's a larger problem. We got a lot of steps in here, okay? So it's 4 times the difference of 3 cubed minus 8 divided by 2. That's a lot. All right, first thing first, you just break it down into steps. We do our parentheses first. So inside of our parentheses, we have 3 to the third minus 8. Well, we can't minus 8 until we know what 3 to the third is. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to rewrite all of that. 4 times 27 minus 8, close parenthesis, divided by 2. I'm not done with my parentheses yet. I still have to figure that out. Um, 27 minus 8 is, 27 minus 8 is 19. I can change it to a multiplication sign now because there's no other operations that need to be done in here. And then I do multiplication and division in order, whatever happens first, left to right. So multiplication, division, multiplication right here, 4 times 19. I don't know about you, but I don't know 4 times 19 off the top of my head. So 19 times 4. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So I have 76 divided by 2. See how I rewrote that step already? And then I have to do 76 divided by 2. I know it's an even number, so it will go into it. There's no remainders. 76 divided by 2. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down the 6. 2 goes into 16. 8 times 2 is 16. No remainders. My answer is 38. All of this was my work. That's what I need to see when you turn in your quiz. I need to see all of your steps. Here's another example. We're just going right through all these order of operations stuff. So no parentheses, no exponents. I decided to give you guys a little break. That one over there was tough. So no parentheses, no exponents. I do have some multiplication and division. So I go across multiplication, division, multiplication, division, multiplication right here. 3 times 6 is 18 minus 8 divided by 2. All right, so now I need to still do multiplication and division, whatever happens first from left to right. Multiplication, division, multiplication, here's some division. So I'll have 18 minus 8 divided by 2 is 4. 18 minus 4 is 14. This is my work. That's what I should get a picture of from you. I'm going to pause it again, erase my board, and we're going to do 2 more problems, and then we'll stop with this review. Okay, here's our last 2. I promise these are our last 2. This line right here is a fraction bar. It means division. So I know it's mentioned in your textbook and we did a couple of problems with it, but you might not have caught that. So 5 squared minus 15 divided by 5. So first thing I have to do is anything in parentheses, right? I do exponents in there first before I can do my subtraction. So first is exponents. 5 times 5 is 5 squared, that's 25. So I'll have 25 minus 15 over 5. Oops. 25 minus 15 is 10. 10 divided by 5. Now I can do my 10 divided by 5, and that equals 2. Here's my work for that problem. My next one's a little bit different. I'm going to make you use your brain cells a little bit more on this one. Here's my expression. 4 plus 2 cubed minus 5 times 2 equals 10. If I was to solve this problem right now, it would not equal 10. I need you to try to figure out where to put the parentheses before to make it equal 10. Where am I going to put those parentheses to make it equal 10? Go ahead and pause the video for a few minutes. Do some figuring out. I'm going to do my work right here so you can see everything that I tried, and then I'll walk you through it when you restart your video. So go ahead and pause. All right, now that you're back, what I'm going to try doing this part first. I'm just trying to chunk things. So if I try doing 4 plus 2 to the third minus 5 times 2, I'm going to see if I can make that equal 10. 4 plus 2 to the third. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, minus 5 times 2 is 12 minus 5 times 2. So 12 minus 10 equals 2. That's not going to work. Nope. How about we try parentheses around this part? Maybe I'll just chunk together these things. So 4 plus 2 to the third, oops, I'm going to put my parentheses over there, minus 5 times 2. 4 plus 2 to the third, I remember that's 8. Multiply that by 2. 4 plus 3 times 2. Yep, you can see this. Okay. Multiplication comes first. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4. That's how I got 10. This all is my work. I had to try a couple of things to make it work. Please let me know if you have questions. This is it for your review, but I will, well, this is it for the video part of your review. I'll also send a couple other textbook problems to you for some practice. Make sure that you email me the pictures of your work that you're trying so I know that you're doing it and I can give you that retest. Thanks.